Okay, can we just hear some answers, ways people did that? It would actually be helpful if I had something to write on here, but you can just imagine that we're doing that. Who'd like to suggest a way of doing this? How did they do 22 and a quarter minus 7 and a half using an empty number line? So we might have had 22 and a quarter here. We take away 7 to get to 15 and a quarter. So 1 quarter to 15, 1 quarter to 14 and 3 quarters. Okay, who did it differently?
I did 22.
Yeah.
Take away 7.
Yeah, 15. Take away half, 14 and a half. Add on a quarter, 13, 14 and 3 quarters. 22 take away half, 14, add a half, 14 and a half, and then add the quarter. So 14 and 3 quarters. Okay? Who did it a different way? It'd be nice to have these drawn because you'd actually compare the similarities and differences. Yes? So 22 and a quarter, take away quarter, 22. Take away 2, take away 7, 15. Another quarter, 14 and 3 quarters. Okay? Anyone did it a different way? Now the point about this is that there are a whole bunch of ways to do it. And assuming, by the way, we'd played that other game before with the halves and quarters, so 15 take away a quarter is not going to be a problem, that what the kids are doing is now really quite complicated questions. And they're actually seeing these aren't that hard at all. You know, because you know how you see it in the textbooks. They'd say, the textbook would say, 22 and a quarter is 89 on 4. Take away 15 on 2, which is 89 on 4, take away 30 on 4, is 59 on 4, which I've now got to try and work out the answer to. And so the textbook method is much more complicated than it needs to be.
They also do 22 take away 7, and then do a quarter take away half, and you've got to borrow 1, and it makes it really messy.
Yeah. And so it seems to me it's more complicated. Now, sure, you wouldn't necessarily use this method when you're trying to find the sort of local maximum and you're substituting back in with your halves and quarters. You might sort of find a common denominator then because you've actually got 3 or 4 terms that you're substituting in. But nevertheless, I was still faster using this method than those kids were converting it to the common denominators and using their calculators. So it was actually... It's part of the thing is that if the kids know this, it's one of the strategies they can use. Okay. Again, I haven't followed the template. For the last two, I will try and follow the template. But can I just explain what this template is and then I'm going to finish? Oh, hang on. Actually, I worked out an answer to this. See, I'm actually improving. Can you see that? Okay, so that's one way of doing that. Okay. So here's what the template looks like. The teacher revises prerequisite content with the students and assesses current understanding. That's what that doing the empty number line with the whole number stuff was. That's revising. The teacher uses lively methods to illustrate or model aspects of mathematics and procedure, building on suggestions from the students, emphasising relational understanding and making connections. The teacher gives 1 or 2 carefully varied practice examples which are reviewed. And I sort of did that. Not necessarily the lively methods part, but the rest of it. Then what I would have done is I would have had maybe a worksheet or a whole bunch of other problems. Individually or in small groups, student complete further examples, task problems designed to give practice and consolidation of the content. Teacher monitors the work of students, noticing solution strategies, adapting the questions if necessary. Meaning, oh, you can't do this, try and do this one. That we might have just gone back to whole numbers or something to do that. And then at the end, the teacher reviews the methods or answers of the students and attends to particular problems or responses that might assist in consolidating the purpose of the lesson. Students might propose questions of their own and suggest extensions. Now, I'll just go back to that. What I'm saying is that this is, in a sense, what I did is I taught what you're used to as a conventional maths lesson. What I'm saying is there are ways to make even the conventional maths lesson better by thinking about the structure. And you can talk to your teachers about the structure, and it can be your way of working, is that it's a template that actually helps them to do it. So the teacher of the prerequisite stuff, explain the procedures, 1 or 2 examples. Individually on small groups, the students do more tasks to practice, and then the answers are corrected, the teacher reviews the methods and maybe extends it a little bit. And so it's a template that you can follow that actually helps you to know how these lessons can be made better. And the teachers can think about that. And if I can just emphasise, over the last 2 weeks, I've probably observed, I don't know, 20 lessons. Most of them are, if you like, this template, meaning the conventional maths lesson, and no one did this step. No one did it. In not one of the 20 lessons was that step done. They just kept going to the end and then said, okay, see you, and the kids left. And it just seemed to me it's not the process of tying it together into a lesson. And it's just an essential part, and that's where the templates work. Okay. All right, so I'm going to finish and pack up now, but the task is to think about what you have to do in order to get your plan kicked off. What are you going to have to do between now and the end of next week to do a plan for your plan that you can then take whoever you're going to take it to get the endorsement of what it is you're going to do. Okay, thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.